What's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. When you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that every time I drop a video, you will be the first to be notified. Man, I got a story, another story. It seems like the great state of Texas, or the DFW area as we call it, just can't stay out the news. But this story is disturbing. Now, let me tell you like this. People know, if you see my other videos, some of my past videos, you know how I feel about promoting sexuality, embracing it when it comes to children. You know, it's the line should not be crossed. Now, if a parent wants to teach their kids about sex, the difference between men and women, how babies are born, you know, telling them the right and wrong, that's a parent's actually obligation. That's their job. That's our job as parents. Like I said, when my daughters was like 5 or 6 years old, I'm telling them, you know, about Mary and the Messiah and virgin birth and what have you. It was, you know, and talk about, you know, boys and just whatever, you know, I talk about everything, but I'm just speaking on this in particular because, like I said, then if anybody's going to teach them, it needs to be the parents. Because I know myself. I don't know about all parents because all parents ain't really fit to be parents, but that's a whole nother video too. But me, myself, I know I'm going to tell my kids the truth. I'm going to tell them the real. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. And they can say, yeah, icky, this, that, and the third, but I'm going to be real with them because them people on the outside, according to this article, if I rely on people from the outside to teach my kids about this subject, man, they could go to hell in a handbasket. What they say, go to hell with gasoline drawers on, which these people probably going to. But anyway, story says, Dallas protesters show up to quote, drag the kids to Pride, unquote, family-friendly drag show. Now, if you don't know, this month is National Pride Month, I guess. Interesting that, you know, Juneteenth is in a couple of weeks, but this is National Pride Month, I guess. And you know, I know they had probably some parades and stuff going on. Dallas, Lower Greenville is like just notorious for that, you know, but that's their thing. And, you know, I stay away from it, and it's just simple as that, you know. Nothing, no more, no less. Like, I mean, when you're grown, you're old enough to know better. I don't think no 3-year-old, I don't think no 5, 7, 13, I don't think they old enough, you know, to know, to have a choice of what they want to do when they grow. Because you look at a lot of these stories about these people who transgender. Like I said, a lot, but a lot of the kids, they confused. They don't know, they don't have the right direction. And I know parents probably don't know how to address it, but there are professionals out there that can help children, you know. And I know in our community, we got a stigma about getting mental help, you know, talking to people about our business and their family. But shoot, you got to, man. You got to get professional. I mean, heck, I guess this is what the Catholic preachers for, besides touching on little boys. They actually, you know, you go to them and, you know, talk to them about problems and confession and stuff like that. But, you know what I'm saying, you got ministries, you got counselors all in the schools and all over. You know, you got things that are covered with certain insurance to get these kids help, to get the family help, to get, you know, so people can talk. But stuff like this, like I said, that because a lot of them stories, them people ended up, let's say, committing suicide, being drug addicts, you know, out there on the stroll. And it's a sad thing because they're human beings. But and people might try to talk about them, talk bad about them or whatever. But like I said, they're human beings, and a lot of people, everybody's mind is not set the same. Everybody don't think the same. Everybody got some kind of problem. You know, people got addictions or, you know, sexual immoralities, whatever you want to call it, alcoholism, like to steal, can be lazy, can be bipolar, or whatever, you know, whatever. People got issues, and everybody have issues that need to be addressed one way or another. And like I said, them people, a lot of these, I think we started these folks off as young and kids, and, you know, that not accepted or can't find a community that will accept them because they think they're a minority, so not ain't enough people around to kick to understand them. Then they're doing some crazy stuff. That's any walk of life. But sexuality is a whole nother beast because they say the same hormones and endorphins and all that stuff that you release and gets crunk up when you're having intercourse are pretty much the same ones that you have when you committing violence. Just something for you to think about. But anyway, let me get into the story because this is a nice little read, and I'll just give you my text and stuff while we do it. So it said, during the event, drag performers danced and walked down the aisle in the center of the room. And at times, the dancers would take dollar bills from some children. Now this is the bullshit part right here. Like, really, like, who in their right mind would take their kids to a strip club? I don't care if it's gay or heterosexual. Who would do that? And if you watch the video, the TikTok, Twitter, whatever the heck it is, these are little kids, like elementary school kids. So this is basically what it was. This is like a strip club performance, with dudes dressed as women. I mean, it's like confusion all the way around. A Dallas drag show that promoters called family friendly and appropriate for kids, said it was appropriate for kids, brought both supporters and protesters to it on Saturday afternoon. Dallas bar Mr. with MISSTER held the event, Drag the Kids to Pride drag show Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the city's Oak Lawn neighborhood. The organizers call it a family-friendly spinoff of their champagne drag brunch that would allow kids to dance with performers on stage. And I seen something like this before. I think like last year there was something like this. Same thing, that was like a show where they had kids and these dudes sitting there, actually twerking on these little kids. Shouldn't that be a crime? Isn't that like sexual misconduct, like sexual deviation with children, with minors and stuff? But you got people that's trying to teach kids about sex, like hardcore sex, in elementary schools. You got people, there's a story last year, I think, in Connecticut, where this teachers wanted to teach these, try to teach these kids about, stuff like this, and they like in second grade. I'm like, what the hell? During the event, drag performers danced and walked down the aisle in the center of the room. At times, the dancers would take dollar bills from some of the children. Kids also walked with the dancers down the aisle during the event. Protesters also showed up outside the event, many saying they were upset that kids were involved with the drag show, and they should be. Like I said, who in the world would bring your kids to something like this? Like I said, I'm not really a strip club person, but even I've been to a strip club a couple times when I was a little younger. There's no in the world I would bring my kids to that. One woman who was protesting, Daisy, who didn't want to give her last name, first saw the poster for the event near where she lives. She was at the bar at the event with a Stop Grooming the Kids poster. That's good. I live in this community, she said. I have for several years. I don't believe that I should be seeing signs advertising for children to be dancing on stage with men in thongs and inappropriate clothing and makeup. I don't see how they even got a permit for this. Those are probably this place they even got shut down, because something like this, like I said, this country, man, has, I get to that. I do not in any way condone the behavior that these peoples are engaged in, but what drags me out here is it's kids now. And that's what a lot of people are saying. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Let me tell you something. You know why people like this and people who actually assault children physically, molestation, do these, try to groom these children, shout out to R. Kelly, is because they can't control grown people. And you can groom and control kids a lot faster and a lot easier than you can people of age. Because people of age have been around, understand what's going on, know right from wrong, and can discern and actually take action to prevent or to stop things happening. Little kids can't. Little kids look at you with a side eye and be like, something ain't right. But the more you talk to them, the more you groom them, the more you give them stuff, try to make things look fun, they're more inclined to go along with the flow. And that's a problem. And I think that's what these people are trying to do. They're trying to groom kids. I'm a heterosexual male. I would not for the life of me try to groom my children when it comes to their sexuality at that age. Like I said, you can talk about it. I can explain to you what it is, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to bombard you with sexual images. I would not take my kids, like I say, to a strip club. I would not let them watch movies that have sex scenes in them. Would not, or even a lot of violence, you know what I'm saying? Because they're children. They see enough of violence and cursing and stuff in the house, in the house or out in the street or at school. I'm not gonna just put this stuff like that in their life like that and traumatize these children. So when they grow up, they don't understand. They're just totally confused. They're already confused as it is. The organizer said the event was a safe environment separate from their normal operations. After the event, Mr. Misters released this statement. Now, this is a tripped out statement here. We host our champagne drag brunch every Saturday at 2 p.m. for guests that are 21 and over. But we have partnered with some of our major community partners. Now, I want to know who these community partners are, because they said it major, to host a special pride drag brunch for all guests, including guests that couldn't normally attend our regular show because of drinking age restrictions, to raise money for a local LGBTQ plus youth organization. We are more than happy to open our doors to celebrate Pride in a family-friendly, safe environment, separate from our normal operations of 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Saturdays, because we believe that everyone should have a space to be able to celebrate who they are. Again, what in the hell does I don't care what nobody say. Second grade, third grade, kids like that, I'm gonna say, kids, if a girl ain't having cycles, if a boy ain't getting erections, they don't know nothing about sexuality, and they ain't worried about sexuality. Just because they want to play with Barbies or want to see their mama clothes and want to wear their mama clothes or whatever, that don't mean anything yet. That just means you need to say, hey, that's what mama wear, that's what daddy wear, you wear that. Period. You don't just say, oh, he's playing the Barbie, I think he wants to be a girl. No, it ain't that. You say, little Timmy, do you want to be a girl? And he'd be like, I think I just, you're like, I don't know, maybe, you know what I'm saying? It's it's okay, it's okay if you want to be, whatever the case, whatever it is, but you don't, you just don't force, you just don't put that out there for kids. Like I say, sexuality, you don't do that. Let them son go and play bars as hell with it. Give them a G.I. Joe, call it a day. Want to go outside? Hey, little girls, go outside and climb trees, play volleyball, basketball. Those used to be, not volleyball. I'm thinking about softball, baseball, basketball. Those are boy sports. You got girls that play football. And you know what I'm saying? And they girls and they married to dudes. They got boyfriends. Just because these people, people want to do stuff that normally people of the opposite sex do, does not mean that person want to be gay or LGBTQ. You gotta try. I'm gonna tell you like this here. If any parent, truth be told, any parent with any kind of sense, man, you want to try to steer your child away from that, because all it's gonna do is add problems. I don't care. You don't give your child a choice of what to eat for dinner. You don't give them a choice on this either. It's just you're gonna follow these rules in this house. It's gonna be like that until I mean, even like religion. I know my mom would let me, we grew up Southern Baptist or what have you, but when I got like junior high and got, started thinking more of my blackness and stuff and reading the books that she had in the house and stuff, and like, man, these like black Muslim in America, which was, not really a accurate depiction of Muslims in America or Nation of Islam, but it still got me curious where, I look, studying, and she allowed me to, research different religions. And I mean, you do, but like I said, that was shit. Like I said, that's when I was older. But when I was younger, it was like, this is your, you're not gonna, there's not gonna be no confusion in the house. Now, when you get older and you understand, you got more questions, we can talk about it. But even with that being said, these are the rules you're gonna follow in this house. Period. Now, when you get out the house, you do whatever the hell you want to. You see what I'm saying? But people don't let these parents nowadays, they don't do that with these kids. Their kids say, you cook a big 5-course meal with vegetables and fruits and good clean meats or something, and they want McDonald's, and you be the one saying, well, they won't eat nothing else but McDonald's. How the hell do they know what McDonald's is unless you took them? So again, how they know what this stuff is unless you unless you take them to this mess, introduce it to them, or they see it on the the cartoon with it, Proud Family now, which I don't even. It just ruined my little childhood when I was old. I was grown, or older when that came out, but still, that was a good show. And they don't just mess that one up. And like, it seemed like every show, I think some lady on Disney said that one of her missions is to introduce LGBT topics or scenarios in all Disney productions now. It's like, why? Can somebody just please tell me what is the urgency? Because truth be told, regardless of what you want to talk about, if you agree with, if you this part of this community and feel you should have the freedom to do it, it's, as Brother Neely Fuller say, man, it's anti-sexual, because it goes against the natural order of sexuality. Period. I mean, you agree with me or not, you can be mad. It is what it is. And so, because the reason why do you call it that? Because there's no procreation to it. You want to deal with somebody of your same sex, but yet you want to have children. You're not making sense. That's why I say there's a confusion. You don't want to die. You want to live like you want to live, but you don't want to die. And that's something I think with most people in the world, is they do not want to die, so they want to have a legacy. They want to have kids or offspring, but you can't do it if you're doing this. So like I say, it's anti-sexual. I mean, seriously, there's no procreation. There's nothing constructive about it. But anyway, what did it say? On Saturday, because we believe everyone should have a space to be celebrated who they are. Mr. is a place where everyone is welcome to feel accepted, safe, and included. We have a group of protesters outside yelling homophobic threats, transphobic remarks, and vile accusations at these children and parents. It is so sad to see that in 2020 there are people that still want to protest others celebrating who they are, but our staff and wonderful officers help keep us safe and keep the protesters at bay. AJ Cruz has been working at Mr. Mrs. for about 2 years. He said Saturday event allows people to express themselves. Okay, there were a lot less people drinking today, so that would make it more kid friendly. Again, why would you bring kids around people that are drinking? That's something else you promote. Like I said, this is Sodom and Gomorrah. Is Babylon is alive and well in this country. Passports are coming. But again, myself, I used to drink alcohol. I ain't drunk them maybe in months. I don't even know. They ain't been a year, but it's been a while. But shout out to Uncle Nearest. That's a great whiskey. Black owned, black created. Like Jack Daniels was black created, but it's not black owned by Uncle Nearest. And there's some other ones out there if y'all do partake in that, in the spirits. But one thing I never would do is drink around my kids. I would never. I would do it when they sleep or when they're away. And I would drink in the house, but it'd be like late at night when they're in the bed, in the room, or whatever. Like even rap music, certain music, like rap music, would never listen to it around my children when they was kids. Like I say, it's just some things. But like seeing kids, my children seeing me or anybody, I didn't like my kids being around anybody else when they drunk. It's just my kids seeing people inebriated. One, I don't want them to think that's cool. Two, I don't want them to look down on people when they walking around here staggering, throwing up, acting silly, can't control themselves, pissing on themselves, stuff like that. That's not cool, and that's not cool. You know, because I can't go out in the world and they see these people, and I explain to them, try to explain to them like what's going on with these people, and then you got people in your family or people you hang with do the same thing. So it's like, you know, that can cause confusion. Now I ain't talking about like, you know, people drinking beers or wine cooler stuff like that. You know, you might sip a little bit, but for people to get like just outrageous, okay, it's time to go. You know, it's just that type of stuff, like drinking parties, like going to bars, clubs like that. That's something you just don't. You gotta train your kids first to get ready for the outside world. Then you can put them out there into the world. But to sit there and say there's a lot less people drinking, like say you promoting alcohol drinking in front of children, little children. Everyone just came from all walks of life and, you know, just enjoyed Pride. One of the groups protesting the event Saturday was the organization Protect Texas Kids. They also provided a statement. We decided to organize this protest when we saw advertising for the event a few weeks ago. We researched the bar and quickly found out that it's a gay bar. And we were also pretty concerned when we saw the signage on the bar's website saying it's not going to lick itself. We just launched our organization and this was our first event. See, stuff like this is for adults. This is not for children. The mission was to raise awareness that the event like this, a drag show for children, was happening right in Dallas. We also hope that if we raise awareness, the event might be canceled or modified so the children couldn't be present. We're very happy with how the event went overall. The police were able to come in and remove all the children and their families from inside the bar. There were a lot of people in attendance who didn't have kids, so those people were able to stay and the event continued. Now, contrary to part of this statement in regard to removing children and families, the Dallas Police Department said officers showed up to assist with crowd control and help the crowd disperse in a safe manner. So the question is, who's telling the truth? Let me say Mr. and also said the bar had received several hundred threatening emails, Google reviews, and phone calls from protesters. Because you're playing with kids, man. If it's one thing that people need to, I know them folk love to, you know, they like when it comes to us, you know, they'll put dogs and they put their dogs ahead, you know, they'll say dogs like before they say ours. But people don't like you playing with kids. It's like you do whatever you want to, and you stay in your area. But when you bring in children, when you're involving children like this, that's a no-no. So again, like I was about to say, you know, who is telling the truth is the police, because the police really didn't contradict what that protester said. They actually just said that they help control, what they say, assist with crowd control and help the crowd disperse in a safe manner. That is a political statement. What do you call that? A politically correct statement that the police legally had to make in order to not show discrimination to where they could be liable or, you know, be looked at in a bad light and could be, I don't know if they could be sued, but you know, the police don't want to be looked in a bad light, not with them folk. Because them LGBT got a lot of power for some reason. To be such a small organization, it's got a lot of money. But police ain't trying to look bad. And so, you know, saying to them or in the world, so they like, we just help crowd control. So it wasn't like they said, nah, we didn't just take out children. We just, you know, made sure the place was safe and, you know, and did what we need to do. You know, we did some policing. But anyway, that's about all I got for this, man. I'm gonna leave this link in the description box so you can click on this, see this debauchery. Like I say, with these children, man, it's like I say, it's disturbing. This is the most disturbing. It's just disturbing. And I mean, like I say, if you part of that community, that's fine. You know, you do what you do, and you know, well, that's you. You know, you do what you do. You know what I'm saying? I don't promote it. I'm not with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but hey, I've worked with people, went to school with people that was part of that community, and had no problems with it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody tried to, you know, tried nothing or nothing like that. It's just, to me, they're just people. Like I said, your sexuality is your life. what you doing behind your bedroom ain't got nothing to do with me. Ain't got nothing to do with my kids or whatever, my family. So that's just it. But like I say, but these people suppose, I guess, brought, that's why I want to know, like, who brought their kids? Is it people that's part of this community and you're just trying to groom your kids to understand what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? To understand why you are living that lifestyle. Then I mean, that's a hard one, man. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I can sit here and say, hey, can't tell me what to do with my kids. This is how I'm gonna do it. Don't push it. And I guess technically they didn't push it, but I mean they did advertise, you know, bring your kids to the, so I guess it's for their community. But it's just, man, like I say, it's, what you think, man? I don't have any more words. Leave your comment below and then share it with the world. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I leave you in peace and I'll see you on the other side.